It's pretty plugged up in there.
Yeah.
And, yep.
So you get Amish people coming in sometimes just trying to get in the door. This feels like the Dr. Mike machine to me, doesn't it?
Yep. The spillage around here is going to go down about 80%.
Massenomics.
What's up, everyone? We are here in Sioux Falls at the very new Los Campeones gym. With the man in charge, Big Casey Ron. Big Casey, this is our first time ever being here. It's already sweet. We're gonna show everyone what you've got. It's an awesome setup. How long has it been open now?
It's been open, gosh, about 10 weeks now, since October.
And Los Campeones, there is a few of them. We were talking about it. There's more popping up all over the place. Is there like over 10 of them throughout the U.S.
Gosh, probably more like 14 at this point.
Okay, yeah, sweet. And you got really cool stuff. Like, I want to talk about lighting, all that sort of thing, but we're going to look at all the equipment. That's part of what we love, is the equipment too. So maybe we should start going this direction first. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So the thing about a lot of Los Campeones gyms that at least I picked up on, and maybe it's intentional with some locations, maybe it's not, but it seems like each gym is broken up into different sections.
Okay.
Each section is meant to bring a different mindset. So over here we have the cardio area.
Yep.
Cardio area, at least for me, doing cardio is like pulling teeth.
Yep.
So the more distractions I can have, the easier it is just to kind of get the work done.
Yep.
So we have awesome windows here, and those windows have just a fantastic view. For instance, like a month and a half ago, we were in full fall mode. So the trees were blooming. There was just beautiful autumn colors, and it was just a really cool view to look at. So I even found myself intentionally on a treadmill one day, just doing some incline walking, and it was just kind of a nice like fall scene, and just a real like nice pastime for a little bit.
You've got, I'm going to point out some things. You've got the Ski Erg, the Concept 2 Ski Erg. That machine's kind of the devil. You also have the rower Ski Erg here. The turf area that we're stepping onto right now, people kind of stretch and warm up here and that sort of thing, I suppose, right?
Absolutely, and it was something that, you know, I was trying to figure out as we were getting close to opening up. People kept asking, you know, amongst equipment, like, do you have a place to stretch? And I was like, oh. So it was kind of one of those cool things that became a detail at the very last minute, and just happened to work out nicely. We had a little bit of extra turf from the back that I was like, what am I going to do with this? And just plopped it down, and, you know, this actually doesn't work out too bad.
We kind of, I alluded to it earlier, but like the lighting, the vibe, the color and everything, like there was some like very intentional build out here. How long did that take? Like when you first turned the keys to walk in here until like the first member could join up and lift, how long did it take?
So I started back in May.
Okay.
May 1st was when I got the keys in my hand.
Yeah.
And immediately, you know, I just kind of started sweeping, putting some things together. I was a teacher previously. I finished the school year up the last week of May, and essentially this became my full-time job right away afterwards.
Okay. So, cool. You got a couple step mills over here. I don't know, is that what we call them, step mills?
Stair-stepper, Stairmaster, you know.
Those are also cannot be very much fun.
It's not my cup of tea, but there are some people where, you know.
It's obviously not our cup of tea.
they clock in and immediately they just flock to them too.
Yeah. Those are cool. What's this one machine right here? Ab.
Yep.
Yeah.
A weighted ab machine. Still kind of workshopping. This has moved a couple of different times so far.
So do you feel like you're still, like in general, like are things moving around a little bit?
Constantly. It's like it's kind of like moving into a new house.
Right.
You know, you get the aesthetic, you sit down and you're like, gosh, I really don't like where this is, and then you move it somewhere else and you're like, should not have moved it here. You know, we're constantly moving, we're constantly changing. I've been telling members, and sincerely, this is the way I feel, like it's my house is your house type of mentality from when they come in here and when they're members. I want them to feel at home. So people come in with great ideas. Hey, you know, this isn't quite working, or this is a little crowded over here, so we move it again. Sometimes it's for the better, sometimes it's for the worse, but the worst case scenario, we just have to move it again.
The bathroom's right behind us. Have you had to do any micro dirty jobs in there yet?
You know, the third day we were open, one of our members texted me or DM'd me on Instagram saying, hey, It's pretty plugged up in there.
Yeah.
And yep, you know, we have a bunch of different body types in here, and you know, somebody just came in one night and just, you know, went to work in it. So
that is the way it goes sometimes.
Yep. In terms of maintenance, though, it hasn't been too bad. We have members that are incredibly respectful and awesome at cleaning up after themselves, and they take a lot of liberty too, just to, you know, take things under care for themselves.
Yeah,
as well.
It's good to have good members that kind of corrects itself in the long run. Okay, we're going over to maybe the second section or the parallel section over here, and
this is our
machines. Yeah, what do we got on this side?
This is our upper body area. One of the things that I tried to do, so this was a flooring warehouse before this, and even before that, it was an Amish furniture store of all things.
Okay.
And I think that's what a lot of people like know the building as. I flat out never knew that was the case, but you know, Amish
so you get Amish people coming in sometimes just trying to get in the door.
You know, we do get people from time to time that'll walk in expecting this to be something totally different.
Right.
Like they look past the windows, they look past the signs, and then they come in here and they're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
So, but they've been pretty cool about it. But things that were left over here in this building that I try to utilize was the amazing lighting that we have.
That's awesome.
It actually ended up being a godsend, which I didn't even consider. So
was it already here?
The spotlights were just like this.
Okay, yeah.
And you know, my background is in strongman and powerlifting.
Right.
So the idea of how I look like really doesn't register to me.
Yep.
But Los Campeones is commonly associated with bodybuilding.
Right.
There's a lot of people in there. You know,
which people care about the lighting then.
Absolutely.
You know, like it matters more and more, yeah.
So that's something that I've gotten probably the most compliments on besides the equipment in here.
Yeah.
So we tried to utilize the spotlights when somebody brought it up as I was configuring this. You know, really like the lighting here, so I thought, you know what? Where do people care about the most in terms of their appearance? Well, upper body.
Yep.
So turn this into the upper body area.
Yep.
All the equipment in here is going to be commonly associated with training your upper body. We have the wall of mirrors over there. Trying to utilize different pieces for people to get the most out of their upper body training.
They
like
sense.
to see the way they flex, they like to see the way they have the pump going, and they just like to see the muscles going to work as they are training.
And you've got hammer strength, also pendulum. Is that what this brand is? This one is here, or is this one otherwise?
It's labeled pendulum, but it's a Rogers product.
Okay.
And it's a really awesome three-way row machine that really allows you to hit especially the middle back as you're rowing.
Yeah, your machines are pretty killer here in general. We'll kind of look at some of them as we go. I don't know if we'll look at every one, but that stands out to me. Really, actually, Tommy and I talked about it. It's funny, the hammer strength equipment, we're so used to seeing like old hammer strength equipment, and this is all brand new, color matching. You know, it looks sweet in here like this.
It was a lot of intention, and fortunately, being with Los Campeones, I had a lot of awesome suggestions from up north, things that work well in the other gyms.
Yeah.
So Mr. Lair from up in the cities, he's kind of the godfather of the brand.
Okay.
Gave me a lot of great suggestions. There were some things where I was like, well, I would rather see this. So it was an awesome dialogue, a lot of back and forth conversation. So I was able to put my own personal touch on the brand, but at the same time, it also has its Los Campeones roots.
Right. Chest press, plate load, and there's also a mixture of plate loaded and selectorized equipment over here too. So some of both. What's this Arsenal one here?
This is an awesome Peck Fly Machine.
Okay.
If you'll notice,
and it has like this I don't know, this curved back positioning to it.
Like an arched bench, absolutely. It's really awesome. The way that it works is that it allows you to really isolate your pec muscles.
Okay.
Especially for me, I know in my training, when I get tired, when I'm maybe doing some higher volume type of stuff, I tend to cheat with my shoulders.
Yep.
Very difficult to cheat with this because of the way that it's angled.
I'll find a way to cheat. Yeah, this is sweet though. Yeah, there's a deep stretch. Yeah, that's a cool one.
And then, you know, we also have the familiar pieces as well. When people walk in, they might see that. They might think, oh, the arch bench is kind of quirky, kind of intimidating.
Right.
So we do still have the traditional
regular
Peck Fly
deck,
Machine.
yeah.
So, you know, kind of what we try to do here is allow people to have familiarity, and then eventually as they get more into the idea of
they might
what they're doing.
Try something like this out, yeah.
Absolutely.
Looks like you have like all brand New York plates around.
Yep. They have the awesome old school clang, and it really works well with these plate loaded machines. Really gives it a cool old school vibe that I know a lot of us crave around here. This Techno Gym equipment, are you familiar with that at all?
No.
Oh, it glides, man. So when you utilize this equipment, especially what I'm noticing is that it's all muscle loaded. You really don't feel a whole lot of tension on your joints. And as I'm getting older, I'm noticing that, you know, the less mileage you can have on your joints, the easier your life is.
So is there like a spring? There's a spring or something there then? Or yeah, okay. You can tell it feels different. I don't know if you can see that.
Well, it allows for that initial get off, you know, especially we have a lot of burly individuals in here.
Right.
And so instead of trying to, you know, move in an awkward way to get the initial load off of their chest,
this is a big machine too. You know, this is a beefy machine here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's sweet. That's cool. I've never used one of those before. You got the big cable crossover, of course. Several different cable attachments. The cable attachment rack on the wall over here too.
One of our members actually put that together here too. And that's it. It's an example of the awesome community that we have here, going back to that mentality that my house is your house.
Right.
People have voluntarily brought in their equipment.
Yeah, if they do that, then they're going to make sure everyone else is doing the right things too. Then it kind of it just settles itself. That's a good strategy.
Absolutely. Our dumbbells go all the way up to 150 pounds.
Yeah, the big Rogue. These are the same dumbbells we saw in Juji Mufu's place, isn't it? Yeah.
Let's go, Matt. Come on. Push.
Quick.
Attaboy.
That wasn't even. That wasn't even staged.
Finish. Go. Come on. Finish. Attaboy. Nice work, buddy.
That's how it's done.
Cool thing I've learned about Rogue too, the dumbbells, and I didn't even figure this. I take a lot of pride in my grip strength, so when somebody brought this up, it was like, whoa, you're probably right. But the handles don't get wider as the weight gets bigger.
Right.
And that's been a real big catch for a lot of people.
Yeah. These are really nice too.
The knurling's fresh
not fake
too.
Either, I can verify that really weighs 125 pounds.
And I mean, you know, obviously as the weeks go on, it's not as much of a new smell, but it still has a little bit of a new smell fragrance.
It's got the new car smell. Yeah.
They've been unboxed for probably 12 weeks.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's a lot of urethane or rubber or whatever between this many sets. Here's the arch back, just free bench people can use, so you could do dumbbell work with it, obviously.
Absolutely. One of my favorite pieces too is the standing lateral raise. A lot of people get excited about this. Previously, before opening this place up, I had never actually seen one in person before.
Yeah.
Unless if it was I've only seen it in muscle mags and old
This feels
school,
like the Dr. Mike machine to me, doesn't it? So am I doing this right?
Yep.
Yep.
And a lot of the times too, Tanner, what I like to do is I like to shrug my shoulders before I fly. Really helps me really just isolate those delt muscles.
And that's an Arsenal piece also?
Yep.
How about this? What's the nickname for this machine?
It's a lever row.
Yeah.
And it's humbling as all get out too.
What is it? Humbler. The humbler. That's what we were saying earlier. It's the humbler.
So generally, when I put things together, I'm not the handiest of all people.
Yeah.
So I figure I test out everything before I put it on the floor. If it can hold me, generally, I feel comfortable with it holding anybody else.
Yeah.
So when I gave it a test drive, I got on it, put a 45 on each side, and it slipped out of my hands. Yep. Just.
I better get on this one.
It's definitely a less is more type of movement.
Make sure I can get up here with my rickety old knee. Oh yeah. Yeah, that is pretty sweet. Oh, there's a safety on both sides here too. Sweet. We're coming up soon on going to this part's really cool, especially when you're bodybuilding, but I like the other half of the gym even better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so going back to what I said originally about trying to have different sections, bring different type of mentalities, you'll notice that it's very well lit over here.
Yep.
As you walk through that doorway, there's almost kind of a different mindset.
Yeah.
The lights are dimmer. It's a little bit more of a grungy vibe.
Yeah, the floor is like stained concrete, and has a more commercial or more industrial look to it, I guess is what I would say.
Absolutely. And I went back and forth on how I wanted to put this floor together. Obviously this was a flooring warehouse before this.
Yeah.
So there was flooring here before it, but it was like older carpet. And I was like, carpet in a gym is just, I don't know. Like, I didn't know what to think of it.
It's like carpet in the bathroom at your house.
Exactly. Yeah. And, I had different people come in throughout the summer as I was working on it. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? Most of the time people were saying, yeah, you don't want to do carpet in here.
Yeah.
So I ripped it up and there was just some really aggressive adhesive. So I actually spent the better part of a month just scraping the floor every day.
Yeah.
And I used a bunch of different philosophies too. I got a sander like an industrial sander one day, and just grinded it down for as long as I could. And then it got to the point where there was about, probably like a quarter of an inch that it just would not reach.
Yeah.
So I got like an ice chisel, and ultimately I was just scraping all throughout the day.
So you're just going through things, figuring out the thing that was actually going to get it off. Yeah.
Exactly, and there's still a little bit of remnants to it in the back especially, but so far it's worked out pretty well. It adds a little bit of texture, and actually it has worked out pretty well.
And as we walk through on this side, on video, you might notice we did bring like 40 of our closest friends along with us for this gym tour, so they're all getting after it.
The more the merrier. I love it. And it's an awesome test too, because I wanted to make sure that when we had a setup, that things were pretty well spaced out too.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things that used to drive me nuts when I would go to gyms is that there wouldn't be a lot of floor space. People are on top of each other.
Yep.
And then in addition too, I tried to make sure that above all else, we would never have people waiting on weights.
Yep.
Because I remember especially I would finish school for the day, head to the gym, and I'd be waiting for 45s.
Yeah, so we got 3 Rogue 6-post racks, all stacked with those York plates that we saw. We've got Big Tommy squatting here, Big Toby squatting there. So the 3 6-post racks, then there's 2 more hammer strength, like collegiate half racks is what I would call those. I don't know what the name of it is. But
yep, I mean, that's what I would call it.
Yeah, and then we're walking by on this side, you've got the 2 deadlift platforms with band pegs. Are these Rogue? Yeah, they're both Rogue.
Yep.
Deadlift
we actually have another frame in the back. When you purchase these, you purchase the frame and the tile separately, and they never tell you how many tiles that you need, so I just miscounted. So and waiting on some more to come in.
Barbells as we walk by them. Toby's using the Kabuki Transformer bar. Kurt's squatting with Rogue Ohio Power Bar there, it looks like. This is maybe a Rogue Ohio bar. I'm not exactly sure what that one is, but something like that. You have a big variety, as I'm seeing, like a lot of the popular bars you've got here.
Kind of the philosophy I wanted to have here is that people wouldn't be limited by what we don't have.
Right. We got the guys behind us, deadlift bars getting used right now. Yeah, you do have a sweet variety of bars.
Plates are different too. You pointed out the York metal plates. We also have the Rogue bumpers. We also have kilogram calibrated weights as well.
Yep.
Again, just wanted people to have the variety so that if they want to do innovative things with their training, they had the open freedom to do so.
Is this a stainless steel bar?
Rogue Ohio.
Yeah, it's nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's sweet.
We have a big 55-pound squat bar somewhere too. That theoretically should not be able to bend over anybody's shoulders when they squat. We've had a couple of members in here that are big squatters. They've actually taken that personally.
That's a challenge, yeah. That's
exactly.
A challenge, yeah. All right. We've got the Rogue, like West Side style benches. I don't know. We got, what, is that Big Jake? He's throwing on 3 wheels already.
Do it, man. Yep.
Come on.
Push! Push! Keep fighting.
There you go.
Yep.
Belt squat machine.
Yep.
What brand is this?
This is Techno Gym again.
Okay. So
we have a lot of Techno Gym pieces in the back here too.
Is this a hip thrust one?
Yep.
Yeah.
And again, the thing that I love about it too, especially being a bigger person in a gym, growing up in commercial gyms.
Yep.
You know, especially when I would use some of this equipment previously in other gyms, they'd be a little bit more conservatively built, if that makes sense.
Not this.
Exactly. Like for the example I always use here is our hack squat in the back here.
The hack squat is ridiculous.
You climb into it, it's like getting into a tank.
Yeah, it looks like a tank. Also, Tommy's walking over the Olympic platform, I guess, and you got the jerk blocks here, and then more bars on the wall. There's a CB4 Rogue, the Buffalo bar, the curved bar, several rogue bars there. What's the one in the case?
So that's an Olympic bar.
Okay, yeah,
One of our lifters in here is a very high esteemed Olympic lifter.
Okay, yeah.
So brings in his own bar. I think you said Pyros is the name of the brand of it.
That's how you know you're hardcore, when you bring your own bar.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we're starting to get some more Olympic lifters in here.
You got a good setup for it, between the jerk blocks, the platform, the bars, the bumpers. But like you said, the leg press, and particularly this hack squat. Yes. I'm 6'2", 6'3", and this is as tall as me, and I mean, this is like a 8-foot long footprint probably.
And it's, depending on the week, I'm typically sitting around 270, 280.
Yeah.
When I load up a hack squat, typically, like with about 4 or 5 plates, it starts to creak. And I'm like, this thing better not collapse on me.
No, this isn't
won't,
going to.
But this thing right here, doesn't even make a sound.
This
it's like,
is
bring it
actually
on.
a tank. Yeah, that's cool.
Our standing leg curl here has also become one of my favorites.
Okay.
It has full range of motion, so you really get an awesome squeeze at the very top when you're training your hamstrings.
And that's plate loaded. Then you have a regular line curl, kickback leg machine.
Yep.
2 hammer strength benches over here. Again, another barbell rack behind them. What bar are you guys using?
And up top too, we have a couple of Bella bars too, which are a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
I'm a girl dad myself. I hope that my girls someday find their way into a weight room.
Yeah.
My wife and I before this had a garage gym for a hot minute. My oldest especially would always come out and cheer us on. Really got into it.
Yep.
So just always making sure that everybody's welcome here. Traditionally when you think of a gym like this, you think, only the burliest are going to be in here. Well, that's not the case.
Right, like I'm not strong enough to come here. That's not the way it is.
Absolutely.
Right.
Everybody starts somewhere. I know back in the day, like when I first walked into a weight room, I couldn't bench the bar.
Right. Right.
In some cases, I've seen people get scared away from that and never return again. I know I've coached plenty of kids in the past too where, they couldn't go to a powerlifting meet until they could bench that bar.
Right.
And so they made it a full season goal to be able to bench that bar.
Right.
So having lighter bars allows people to have that freedom to train in order to do so.
That makes sense. Smith machine, of course. This one's at a little bit of an angle, which I think a lot of people prefer sometimes, I think, is the slight angle of the Smith machine.
One of our members actually yesterday mentioned that, how he was doing just an upright seated overhead press and pointed out that he really liked that angle so that he could get the full movement of it.
More hammer strength machines where we've walked by several calf, the hip and glute machine, the yes-no hip machines. Then, someone knows what to do with this. Tommy. We've got the table, the weight side table, of course.
It's a tale as old as time, my friend. There's so many people. Like I go through the camera footage every night too, and sure enough, like at some point there's like 3 or 4 water bottles on here over the evening.
All right, you've got 3 cool machines here. This one first, is this called like a deadlift machine, this Arsenal one? I don't know.
I've kind of grown to call it a multi-purpose machine.
Right, because you do shrugs, you could, you can do rows with it.
A lot of people too like to do kind of like a lunge or like a...
like a Bulgarian split squat.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then 2 really cool ones. Ryan's using the one right now. It's the pendulum Rogers squat. He's showing it off in action. And then also the Arsenal, like another pendulum squat. Yep. So which one do you like better?
I personally like this one better.
Okay.
Because it's a great way to continue squatting, even though some people might struggle with some shoulder mobility.
Right.
Or 2, I continue to try to coach people, give them the opportunity to learn how to squat, even though they might not be ready to have that bar on the back. And so it's a great transitionary tool.
And this one, do you think it just feels a little different than a regular squat then still? Like it's more different to a normal back squat than this one is?
Yep. The pendulum is another piece where, it's very unfamiliar to the area. A lot of people got excited knowing that it was going to come in here.
Yeah, it's a cool piece of equipment.
And it's a very humbling piece of machinery as well.
Yeah.
Doesn't take a lot of weight. I have some love-hate with it. The first time I ever touched one, I was 16 years old. At 16, you know it all, obviously.
Right.
So when I saw it, I threw on 4 plates right away, and my cue should have been the entire gym stopped what they were doing and watched me.
Yeah.
And I somehow unlatched it, went immediately down, and everybody that was in there stared at me for like a solid minute.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Did you learn your lesson, kid?" Yep.
And
they peeled it off and learned to fight another day.
Another barbell rack on that wall. I didn't even notice that one. You've got the camber bar over there. You've also got the spider bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of our members brought that in again.
Yeah.
And again, people are always welcome to do so. The thing that I always want to make clear, though, is that it's got to be free for everybody to use.
Oop. Won't tip it over. And you've got the Kabuki Cadillac bar, rackable, or easy curl bar. More Rogue Ohio power bars. Yep. You have a lot of Rogue Ohio power bars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, going back, my roots are in powerlifting, so...
It is set up well for that. The last room, which we haven't been in yet, it's kind of the strongman room. There's also some combo racks getting used here, too. My first times I ever saw Casey is when we did strongman competitions together, and it's been like almost 10 years probably since we've done the first one. Like you did like the South Dakota State Fair.
Yep.
In like 2015 or something. We might even have a clip of that somewhere that we could dig up. Yeah, if we can find that.
And you know that that's kind of become my inspiration for doing this at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Back when I was a kid, you know, I got into powerlifting because I loved watching World's Strongest Man.
Yeah.
New Year's Day, you know, my family would just like have all those like endless episodes that they would play on ESPN.
Yeah.
And I was like, gosh, I want to get into that. And you know, that was before Google was doing its Google thing. Social media wasn't doing its thing yet. So never knew how to get into it. So powerlifting in those days was, in my opinion, the closest thing to get into it. One day, maybe find my way.
Yeah.
And then one day, you know, I saw that brochure for South Dakota State Fair. I still have no idea to this day how I stumbled upon it. But found it in just like the most backwards way possible. So my goal here is to be able to provide opportunities for people.
Yeah.
People that wander into a gym one day and say, hey, I want to try bodybuilding, powerlifting, strongman, Olympic lifting. Well, I might be versed in that, I might not, but if I'm not, I have a heck of a community here that can direct you one way or another on how to do that. In fact, we have a wall over there by the water fountain. Every time I know of a competition, I try to post about it so that people have the opportunity to know about those things. Right. And then giving them the opportunity too. I know as I got into strongman, most of the time I go to a show or an event and I never touch the implements.
Right.
And it was like a learn it as you got there.
Competing in it, yeah.
In fact, like my favorite event is a log press. I zeroed on log the very first time because I thought you curled it up when you started.
Yeah.
I was like, how else would you do this?
Yeah.
And then sure enough, afterwards, you know, I was one of the first ones to go. Yep, watch the technique. Oh, that's how you do it. So giving people the opportunity to give it a shot before they step foot onto the event.
Yeah. So then in the strongman area, we're on the turf track first because you've got a yoke back there, kegs, sandbags. People can do carries here, obviously. And then we've got the Minnesota Department of Lifter Safety, Big Matthias. We got 2 combo racks, Ghost, 2 Ghost combo racks. Yeah, sweet. Good combo racks. And then Matthias squatting heavy weight out of them. And you got the Rogue calibrated plates here that they're using too. Mm-hmm. So you got like I don't know, it's like the 459 kilogram set or something like that. You actually have more than that though because you have doubles of a lot of the smaller plates.
Yeah, we have two of the sets of those.
Yeah, okay. That's a good setup, awesome combos there. And then kind of getting into the strongman area, there's the plywood deadlift platform. They're going on axle right now. The stone platform back over here. Kegs. You can't just buy those from Rogue or anywhere. You got to source kegs when you go to find those.
So there was a strongman in town that was actually moving to Tennessee. I gotten to know him very well throughout the years and just happened to reach out. And this was kind of before like all this like became a serious endeavor. He's like, hey, do you want all my strongman stuff? Absolutely. So this, a lot of this stuff actually hung out in my garage for the better part of 2 years. And I would invite people over to my place just, hey, once in a while, if you're interested in strongman, you want to try this, come on over. My neighbors at once in a while would just like set out their lawn chairs and watch these people go to work, and it's a lot of fun.
The Atlas stones. Tell Tommy about your Atlas stone sizes and building the platform. Quick, I got to grab one thing.
Absolutely.
I'll be right back.
So we have a wide range of Atlas stones. I always want people to have the opportunity to come in here, that if they're ever interested in trying it out, that they have the opportunity. So we have a light 110-pound stone. It's still pretty girthy, but in terms of being able to move something for the first time, it's a real manageable ball. And then it goes up incrementally. We have the 135 behind you, Tommy, and then 273. I think we have one in between there as well. 206, all the way up to the big 440-pounder there. So we did a strongman meet over the summer. We did kind of a stone over bar, last man standing type of meet. Absolutely loved it. I had done it previously. I borrowed it from a Fargo, North Dakota show. Jason Eller put it together.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was a brilliant idea, so borrowed it. And it was a real great opportunity again for a lot of people, having never touched a strongman stone, because we weren't open yet. Gave them the opportunity just to kind of like learn it and try it, and you know, we came close to somebody actually picking up that 440, so it was a real good time.
440, 200 kilograms?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a monster. We've got one in Massenomics gym now that's like 456, and I'd love to see someone pick it up someday, but it's not going to be me, I can tell you that much. You've got almost everything here, but one thing we noticed you need a little bit more of is drink safety. So
absolutely.
We brought you a couple of drink spotters, so that'll never be an issue, and then some other stuff from
I appreciate that. Just like that, the spillage around here is going to go down about 80%.
Drastically. It's going to save you time and money and cleaning fees, honestly. So, awesome. We love the gym. Everyone's lifting now. Tommy and I are going to get some lifting in too. Even what if someone wants to sign up, join up, become a member? What do they do?
So we have a ton of different deals. We have day passes that are commonly used. Our most often deal that's sought after though is the month-to-month agreement.
Okay.
For $59 a month, people come in, they try the place out. Typically they stay around. You can sign up online on our website. Otherwise, people are more than welcome to come in. I love showing the place off. Obviously, I spent a lot of time putting this together, and I just get excited every time I get the opportunity to show it off. And yeah, that's typically how that goes down.
Awesome. We appreciate it. Thanks for letting us crash the party here today, giving us a tour. If you liked the video, make sure to like it. Subscribe to the channel. Let us know out of everything you saw here, what was your favorite piece of equipment? What piece of equipment did we not talk about that you wish we would have? Check out all our other gym tour videos. We got like 20 some of them out by now, and stick around for the next one. Take it easy.